Hey. No.
Hear me now?
I can! Yay! That was way quicker this time than usual.
I was on 3 minutes ago, and then I went over to something else, and I thought, okay, I'll just be back at 7 on the dot, and then I lost it again. Am I the only one on?
So far it seems. So this is kind of the norm of coaching. So what tends to happen is I meet a lot of people that want to make changes, but the consistency is what really makes change. And consistency is really difficult for a lot of people.
It's difficult. It's difficult for me, and that's probably why I'm reaching out to you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What tends to happen is like success is actually really easy. It just means that you need to show up and do the work. And I tell people a lot, tell this to them a lot, that, it's like, it's hard work to do this stuff. And it's not hard work in the way that you sweat or, that you have like a 12-hour day or whatever. It's hard work in the fact that you need to show up every single day for yourself. And so a lot of people say they want change, but then this is what happens. They don't end up showing up. So.
Well, I'm going to show up.
Great.
And I apologize for being late on my last 2 payments. I just should have been honest like a couple weeks ago. I don't feel like I have to explain myself, especially when I spend so much time taking care of somebody, and then, like I have to ask you 3 times for the money when,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I am asking you for an event, you know what I mean? So I'm not integrity, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's important to me.
For sure. And also, hey, Gantas, integrity is like also a piece of, as soon as you can't make the thing that you said you were going to do, and then you reach out to someone, that also is, keeping yourself in integrity, because some things just get in the way sometimes.
And that's okay.
Yeah, and that's okay. That's life. Yeah.
And we move forward.
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I see, what's her name joined?
Yes, Gantas, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I would imagine since it's almost 5 after that, it's just gonna be us two.
Okay.
I literally had conversations with people on the phone last week, like, you need to show up, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yes, I'll be there. So,
can I ask a question?
Yeah.
They've paid something into this, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
That's what shocks me. Is it just like, wow.
It is interesting. I don't 100% know myself how it goes, but I used to charge a lot of money for this kind of stuff. So this group used to be like a $3,500 group.
Mm-hmm.
And to coach with me for 3 months was $5,000. And then I upped my price to $10,000. And people were paying it, and they still didn't show up. Like $10,000 for 12 sessions. And they would be late, or so I just have noticed, like, when back then I judged. I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Get your shit together. Blah, blah, blah. And what I've noticed is I think that it's really just that scary, and that we really have set ourselves up to fail and stay small, that you could pay any amount of money in the world and still not show up because you literally are that wounded deep down inside. Which sucks.
It's good to see.
Yeah.
It is. Because money doesn't buy anything, really.
Yeah, fair enough. And, money is energy. So it's a big exchange of energy. And what are you exchanging that energy for then? And what I kind of made from that was to stay small.
Right.
But I still don't really know. Like deep down, I just have my opinions. I just think it's that core wound that it makes it that much like later then you can struggle more because you put out $10,000 for this thing that you didn't do. And now you can really beat yourself up for what a piece of shit you are or whatever, you know, is the pattern that people do. I think it just sets them up to stay in pattern rather than making a shift. And it's hard to make a shift. I mean, it is what you say it is. So that probably will leave us ending early again, but I want to make sure that we don't end until you guys are like 100% satisfied and have all your answers, so we can go wherever you want with this after we kind of go through what I had planned for us, okay? Okay. So we're going to start with a meditation. And so why don't you guys just get nice and comfy?
Can I lay down?
Yeah, you totally can.
Okay.
Great. So just get as comfy as you can right where you are. And roll your shoulders down your spine. Close your eyes. Take a really deep breath in all the way to the bottom of your lungs. And then let it out. And just come down into your breath. Into your body. Relax your belly. Soften your mind. And just feel the support beneath you. Connect with the ground below you and let it take your weight. Become aware of the sounds around you. Just let them be there. And just notice the light and the shade and the air touching the surface of your body. And just sense the sky above and the horizon stretching all the way around you. And feel the earth below you supporting you. And just allow your mind to empty what it no longer needs to hold on to. Let it go. Let it all flow out and away. And allow your body to release what it no longer needs to hold on to. Again, letting it go. Letting it flow out and away. And just draw yourself back from where you've been in your day. Draw your energies back home to your center. And really just ground yourself in this moment here. Begin to sense the space around you. Breathe with the space and become aware of the rise and fall of your breath. Its comings and goings. The sensation, sound, temperature. And just breathe down to where the weight of your body rests. Below the base of your spine. All the way down to your root. Your chakra of belonging. Breathe into your root. Let it soften and gently expand on your breath. Taking in nourishment and life force energy. And just allow your root to connect down to the ground below, deep into the earth. And invite in the color red, the color of the earth. Bathe your root with red, empowering, embodying, grounding you in the here and the now. And let your root take what it needs and say the words, I am here.
I am.
I have a right to be here as I am. The earth supports me. And when you are ready, allow your awareness to move up to your belly, just below your navel. To your hara, your chakra of emotional intelligence, choice, creativity, movement, and pleasure. And just breathe into your hara, letting it gently soften and expand on your breath, taking in nourishment and life force energy. And invite in the color orange, color of the setting sun. Bathe your hara with orange, balancing, empowering, motivating. Just let your hara be fed and say the words, I honor my needs.
I honor my needs.
I allow myself to be nourished.
I allow myself to be nourished.
And then when you are ready, move your awareness up to the soft area below your breastbone, your solar plexus, your chakra of personal power. And really breathe into here, allowing your solar plexus to soften and expand on your breath. And invite in the color yellow, the color of sunshine. Bathe your solar plexus with sunshine, replenishing, restoring, nurturing. Letting your solar plexus take what it needs. As you say the words, I value myself.
I value myself.
I am enough.
I am.
I am more than enough. I am worth my weight in gold.
I am worth.
When you are ready, bring your awareness up to the center of your chest, to your heart. Your chakra of self-development and unconditional love. And gently breathe into your heart, letting it soften and expand on your breath. And invite in green, the color of spring, or even rose pink, whichever feels right. And bathe your heart center with nourishment, renewal, and healing. And let your heart take what it needs and say the words, I am greatly loved.
I am greatly.
I allow myself to give and receive love freely.
Allow myself to give and receive love.
I am nourished by the power of love.
I am nourished by the
Mm. And in your own time, move up to your neck, to your throat, your chakra of self-expression and personal will. Just allow your throat center to soften, expand, and breathe. Inviting in blue, the color of the sky. Breathe the sky into your throat center, clearing, opening, softening the need for control, freeing self-expression and creativity. Let your throat take what it needs. And say the words, I hear and speak my truth.
I hear and speak my truth.
I express myself freely.
I express myself.
I allow myself to go with the flow of life.
I allow myself to go with the flow.
And when you are ready, take your focus up to your forehead, between your eyebrows to your third eye. Your chakra of wisdom and intuition, gently allowing it to soften, expand, and breathe. Inviting in indigo, the velvety color of the night sky. Bathe your third eye with indigo, soothing, balancing, bringing clarity, insight, and understanding. Let your third eye take what it needs. And say the word, everything is unfolding as it should.
Everything is unfolding.
Moving up in your own time to the top of your head, to your crown, your chakra of oneness. Allow your crown to breathe. And gently invite in a light violet, softly bathing your crown, balancing, restoring, harmonizing. Let your crown take what it needs. And say the words, I am one with the universe. I am one with the whole.
I am one of the
When you are ready, just come back to yourself as a whole. Back to the ebb and flow of your breath. Back to your center. Really just breathe into your core. And say the words, I am whole.
I am whole.
I am perfect just as I am. Just allow the energy of the words to bathe your body, your mind, your emotions, your spirit, and take what you need. And in your own time, become aware of the air on the surface of your body. The sounds around you, near and in the distance. And then just close your chakras down a little. Just having the intention is enough. Become aware of the support beneath you. Just notice how you feel. And hold yourself with loving kindness for the beautiful, unique being that you are. And when you are ready, you can draw this meditation to a close. And so I like to just kind of go around and get you to share what that meditation was like for you. So whoever wants to go first can just go.
Why do I have to go first?
I can go first. No, I can go first. I was just sitting here thinking about what it felt like.
Okay, good.
I found it to be very like calming and grounding. Just to go through each chakra and then say like, deep breath. I feel a lot calmer than I did when I joined in this session. It kind of like feel like it brought me back home.
Great. Sweet. Thank you, Gantas.
It was beautiful. I have to be honest with you, ladies. I've only started meditation the last week seriously. I've taken it seriously, and I love it. I feel I handle situations better. I don't react as fast. I just feel beautiful. I don't know what I don't know what it is about meditation. I wish I started it sooner because it's wonderful. So thank you. I needed that.
Great. That's awesome. Thank you, Jenny. One of the things is meditation can become like another way to beat yourself up. I noticed for myself, it was like, well, I couldn't really do it unless I did it for like an hour, and I had to have like a space to do it. I had to have all the things and a pretty picture and sit inside. Like it just became this thing. Like if I was to be a good meditator, I had to do all this shit, and I set myself up to like not even be able to do it because there was so much around it. Until I discovered that just setting the intention to meditate and sitting there for 3 minutes with your eyes closed is also meditating. Then I was like, oh shit. I was like really hard on myself about what a failure I am for so long. Because I don't know, I'm a yoga teacher and I'm supposed to meditate more or something. I have no idea. So just know that like if you're just doing it, that's awesome. Period. It doesn't matter if you're doing it once a day, 6 times a day, 3 times a week. Like it, just set the intention and make sure you're doing it, because the other piece is that you do feel better when you do it. And so then it comes back to the whole conversation that we started with on consistency. The problem I find that we do with consistency is we set it up that like, I got to sit there for an hour in silence. And that's just, I mean, that'd be great in some time, but like right now, is that really a reality that can happen? No. So just set yourself up for success always. Hmm. That's awesome. Okay, so then I had like a big chunk here for introductions, but you guys already know each other. We do have, I can tell you a little bit about the other people in the group. So we have Charlene, and Charlene was unsure she would ever be able to come to the group calls. So just putting that out there, she has a lot of things going on. And so right from the beginning, she wasn't sure she could do that. But she said she would be showing up in the group. So we'll see. Charlene is a mom and a teacher that has most recently, I think, stopped teaching. She's thinking about doing her yoga teacher training. And she's started up a podcast in which she's like really great with kids. And she pretty much knows how to like set them up for school, and she's really great with like special needs populations like autistic kids and stuff. So she's looking at creating a business around consulting for kids so that they're ready for school. Yeah, she's playing with that. She's not sure. And she had started her podcast. It's been going for probably about 6 to 9 months already. So I am going to add you guys, I think Dunthas, you're already in it, but anyone new on this thing, to a Thrive group that I started forever ago. It's basically just everybody that's ever coached with me or gone on retreat. And I like to think of it as a networking group. Again, I haven't been super active in it in the last 6 to 8 months. So it's another thing that I'm going to get started again. But I think that's a really great place. Like, I've worked with people that, like a spiritual hairdresser that, you know, lives in Abbotsford, so that if you don't have a hairdresser and you're looking to get your hair done, why not support each other? You know, like it's a good networking
Right.
thing. So that's my intention of that group, and I'll add you to it, Jenny. We also have a girl named Amy who is like she has like 3 wild boys, and she runs like this, not a farm, but like, yeah, a little hobby farm up in Big Lake, which is close to Williams Lake. And she makes like creams and salves and homemade soaps and deodorants and stuff like that. So, and she does a really great job of it. So we had been talking about her maybe like going pro with it. So I don't think I've ever worked with a soap maker. I have friends that are them, but I don't think I've ever worked with one. So I think that's a really great addition to the network. And yeah, so if you're looking for products, then she's got them. We did talk about her coming to these, so we'll see what happens with that. And then we have Deb, and Deb is right now just on sick leave from her job and is an artist. She does stained glass. And so she's looking to get that business up and off the ground. And I know she's got a lot going on right now. So, but we did talk about coming to this. And we've got Gunthas, we've got Jenny, and then I believe Tammy had talked about joining, but she doesn't, I don't know if she even wants to quit her job. She just doesn't love her job. And so we had talked about taking this to kind of find out what it is that she could do, and also show up in her job where she's the manager of a dentist office a little more fully and a little less like succumbing to like drama and all that stuff. And I think that's all of the people in the group. Let me just double check so that I don't miss anyone, because then I'd feel like an asshole. Oops, shit, wrong person. Okay. Yes, Amy, Gunthas, Charlene, Jenny, Deb, and yeah, Tammy hasn't joined yet. Yeah. So those are the group. I posted a video on the 1st for introductions, so I know nobody has done that yet. There's a good place to start, is introductions. I always encourage, like, the easiest way to do it is just to go live, because sometimes it's like, what do you say? So just go live in there. It's a super safe place to do stuff like that. And hey, this is me. More about like what kind of business you want to run and you know, what direction you're looking for in the group. So that's the best I can do to mock up introductions for you guys. And when and if other people join, then they can also like tell you about themselves, more about what it is that they're open to having shared about them. Okay.
I'm really glad that you said that one girl didn't really know what she wanted to do, what direction to take, because I feel like I started off with certain ideas in my head and then it's kind of all over the map. And don't get me wrong, I'm still working hard towards my goal, but I just don't know if I'm on the right, what track I'm on with my own business. And that's okay, right?
It's so okay, because what you can do now is start to apply all of the things. So we start with releasing like inner blocks and stuff. So that also helps. That all the things that you're learning, you can apply to any business. So you can apply them right now to just increase your income. And then working on all of the things, reading the books, like doing the routines, what it is that you're looking for will come to you.
Okay.
So that can always change. And then anything that we've done, you can still use and put towards whatever business you do have or start or move to or add in or whatever. Okay. They're concepts that just work, period. So one question that I do have is, like, what direction are you guys looking for in group? And more than in group, like the Facebook group, but like be Zoom calls. I mean, if it's only ever the two of you, this is like damn near one-on-one sessions that you can use to totally customize what it is you're looking for or get inspiration or any of the things. And so, I mean, that's super sweet advantage to you guys. I would say naturally it's happening for a reason. But I would like to know how I could more direct these calls, because I have an idea. You know, we're going to go through all the lessons that we've learned and any questions and make sure you understand the concepts, and then like accountability, checking in that you're doing the things. Which is great, but can you think of anything else that you're looking for to get out of these sessions that I haven't already mentioned?
I feel like Jenny and I are both on like the same page about, like, we know we want to get to the business, but I'm kind of in an unsure phase as well. Mm-hmm. So I think showing up and bringing your questions and the things that you have planned and just kind of going with it. I'm just trying to think if there's anything particular. As you said, well, today we'll be going through like removing blocks. I guess
I meant that more for like the beginning part of the course is like removing blocks and stuff. Yeah.
So I think that will help to just get to more clarity.
Yeah. I think so too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. One thing that I'm doing myself is, I don't know, I thought it would be really great. And I don't know if I'm just being critical here, but it was a lot of courses that I'll do to like add to my repertoire and what I'm offering, as well as like do the personal work involved with it. So it's called the Abundance Something, and it's about removing blocks. And so I'm going through it, and basically she's like, okay, so what kind of things are you letting get in your way of bringing wealth to you because of old family, beliefs or whatever? So then people tell, and then she's like, okay, so any of the blocks that you're holding on to into your body about, that your parents thought that money was the root of all evil. I now ask you to release, de-story, and uncreate it. And you're like, oh, that's all I have to do, eh? And now I'm better? Okay. And then she's like, hold on, I'm not quite sure you guys have all released it. Let's do it again. I'm asking you to de-story, uncreate, and release your stories. So I'm like, okay, well, we'll see how this goes, because I'm already on like number 5 of the meditations, but it's kind of like, it's a little weird. I don't know. Is that all we have to do? We just are like, okay, yeah, I'm going to release all those stories. Perfect. They're just de-storied. They're uncreated. We're all good. Woo! So we can always like bring in some of those. My Facebook's going off right now. I could always bring in some of those meditations at the beginning of the groups. And we can also actually just like do a section of that stuff of releasing old stories and shit, if that is something that you guys would like to do. I just was like, I'm like halfway, you know what? It is that easy. So why don't we just like, I started saying, yes, I will uncreate, de-story, and, you know, release that story. Okay, yes. Because why can't it be that easy? And then the other part of me is like, what am I paying for here? This is really weird to me. So we'll see. And we can also like try it out if you guys want, and throw it in as like a half hour, an hour long section of a call, if you want to try it. Okay.
That's interesting.
Okay. So what I had wanted to do was, I'll just give you like a little agenda for the what I have planned for the rest is the book, The Science of Being Rich. I'm going to read. I set aside about a half an hour for it. And then some follow-up like question, what do you guys think of that? And then we can look at some mantras, because I think we should start with something right now. And so we can look at mantras, and then any questions that you guys have, and then that's all I had planned for today.
Okay.
What's the book called again? The Science of what?
Let me just find it here. The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles.
Science of Getting.
And so this is it. Yeah, the science. There it is. The Science of Getting Rich. It's a PDF that I printed off. It's like based, you know, the secret is based off of it. And it's like, I mean, printed off, this is how many pages it is. I think this is just one-sided, because I didn't figure out how to double-side print my printer yet at the time. But it can be literally read in like an hour or 2 hours, and it's a book that you're just supposed to read over and over and over again. So as mentioned, if you want success, you need to find consistency. You need to find some routine. I don't think that your day needs to be so freaking scheduled that, you know, like I've done kind of all of those and then had absolutely no schedule, blah, blah, blah. You need to be consistent. If you want to make a change, it's just like the mantra workshop I did last week. Like if you want to see a change in your life, say your mantras every morning when you wake up and every night before you go to bed, and your life will change in a month. It's just us showing up for ourselves. It's crazy. It's just like the paying $10,000 to coach and then not showing up. It's like, all we have to do is this thing. It's so fucking simple. It takes 5 minutes, but there's a bunch of excuses we have as to why we're not doing it. And then we beat ourselves up and blah, blah, blah. So he writes 3 books, Wallace Wattles: The Science of Getting Rich, The Science of Being Great, and The Science of Being Well. And so basically there are 3 little small books. You can print them all off on PDF. And if you read them and you read them repeatedly and you do what they say, you're going to be great, you're going to be healthy, and you're going to be rich. And that's it. So repetition is key for changing anything, because what it is deep down in our subconscious is that whole story that we created when we were kids. And it runs the bulk of things, and we're just unaware of how in control it really is. And so by repeatedly putting this kind of stuff into your mind, what you're eventually doing is eradicating that bullshit belief that you have. The only way that you can change your mindset is through repetition and emotional impact. So it's also really great if you can feel when you're either reading or meditating. Like, can you cultivate love in your heart? Can you cultivate gratefulness? Can you cultivate humbleness? Like one of those high vibe frequencies. Can you do that when you're meditating? Because the more you feel like that, the more you would draw that to you. Okay, so the very first chapter is called The Right to be Rich. So whatever may be said in praise of poverty, the fact remains that it is not possible to live a really complete or successful life unless one is rich. No man can rise to his greatest possible height in talent or soul development unless he has plenty of money. For to unfold the soul and to develop talent, he must have many things to use, and he cannot have these things unless he has money to buy them with. A man develops in mind, soul, and body by making use of the things, and society is so organized that man must have money in order to become the possessor of things. Therefore, the basis of all advancement for man must be the science of getting rich. The object of all life is development, and everything that lives has an inalienable right to all the development it is capable of attaining. Man's right to life means his right to have free and unrestricted use of all things which may be necessary to his fullest mental, spiritual, and physical unfoldment, or in other words, his right to be rich. In this book, I shall not speak of riches in a figurative way. To be really rich does not mean to be satisfied or contented with a little. No man ought to be satisfied with a little if he is capable of using and enjoying more. The purpose of nature is the advancement and unfoldment of life, and every man should have all that can contribute to the power, elegance, beauty, and richness of life. To be content with less is sinful. The man who owns all he wants for the living of all the life he is capable of living is rich, and no man who has plenty, who has not plenty of money, can have all he wants. Life has advanced so far and become so complex that even the most ordinary man or woman requires a great amount of wealth in order to live in a manner that even approaches completeness. Every person naturally wants to become all they are capable of becoming. This desire to realize innate possibilities is inherent in human nature. We cannot help wanting to be all that we can be. Success in life is becoming what you want to be. You can become what you want to be only by making use of things, and you can have the free use of things only as you become rich enough to buy them. To understand the science of getting rich is therefore the most essential of all knowledge. There is nothing wrong in wanting to get rich. The desire for riches is really the desire for a richer, fuller, and more abundant life. And that desire is praiseworthy. The man who does not desire to live more abundantly is abnormal. And so the man who does not desire to have money enough to buy all he wants is abnormal. There are three motives for which we live. We live for the body, we live for the mind, we live for the soul. No one of these is better or holier than the other. All are alike desirable, and no one of the three, body, mind, or soul, can live fully if either of the others is cut short of full life and expression. It is not right or noble to live only for the soul and deny mind or body, and it is wrong to live for the intellect and deny body or soul. We are all acquainted with the loathsome consequences of living for the body and denying both mind and soul. And we see that real life means the complete expression of all that man can give forth through body, mind, and soul. Whatever he can say, no man can really be happy or satisfied unless his body is living fully in every function, and unless the same is true of his mind and his soul. Wherever there is unexpressed possibility or function not performed, there is unsatisfied desire. Desire is possibility seeking expression, or function seeking performance. Man cannot live fully in body without good food, comfortable clothing, and warm shelter, and without freedom from excessive toil, rest, and recreation are also necessary to his physical life. He cannot live fully in mind without books and time to study them, without opportunity for travel and observation, or without intellectual companionship. To live fully in mind, he must have intellectual recreations and must surround himself with all the objects of art and beauty he is capable of using and appreciating. To live fully in soul, man must have love, and love is denied expression by poverty. A man's highest happiness is found in the bestowal of benefits on those he loves. Love finds its most natural and spontaneous expression in giving. The man who has nothing to give cannot fill his space as a husband, as a father, or a citizen, or as a man. It is in the use of material things that a man finds full life for his body, develops his mind, and unfolds his soul. It is therefore of supreme importance to him that he should be rich. It is perfectly right that you should desire to be rich. If you are a normal man or woman, you cannot help doing so. It is perfectly right that you should give your best attention to the science of getting rich, for it is the noblest and most necessary of all studies. If you neglect this study, you are derelict in your duty to yourself, to God, and humanity. For you could render to God and humanity no greater service than to make the most of yourself.
Ooh,
What do you guys think of that?
that was a huge eye opener.
Mm-hmm.
Huge. And I don't even know if I've thought those thoughts or wanted to thought. Like I've always, you can't be happy or comfortable without money. And it's funny you said the root of all evil before, because that's the way I've always seen money. Always, my whole life. I've made so much of it, and I just had a bad relationship with it. So that was a huge eye opener. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Just like kind of realizing. I don't think I've actually read this. I know you've mentioned Wallace Waddles, but actually listening to it, and like the realization of money because of the way that society or even my parents seeing immigrants, being an immigrant's daughter, and the relationship I built, and I've been trying to work on it, but as you know, I still struggle, and it can make a big difference if that relationship changes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sweet. I love how he's just like at the end it's like pretty harsh, like you are derelict in your duty to God if you don't have money. You're like, oh shit. To yourself, to God, and humanity.
He's just giving it the facts the way he sees it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Straight
it's
up.
great. The book is really very great, and I thought, that we could have this as kind of a side thing to study, because it's a book that I just uploaded lesson 2 early. So you don't have to go there early because it's supposed to be uploaded on Wednesday, but I also just thought the quicker that we can start instilling some routines and like some readings and mantras and stuff like that, then the better, because these are things that are like building blocks, like foundations of success. And the way that he breaks this down, like this was written in like 1914 or something like that, but the way he breaks it down, it's just there's no argument that you can even come up with against what he's saying, because then he starts talking about like the ethers and thought stuff and all of these like true basic concepts of the power of attraction. And so this is like a side thing that we're going to study while we're doing this. And so I did have the idea of reading 2 chapters. Are you guys good with me reading another one?
Sure.
Okay. So the next one is, there is a science of getting rich. There is a science of getting rich, and it is an exact science, like algebra or arithmetic. There are certain laws which govern the process of acquiring riches. Once these laws are learned and obeyed by any man, he will get rich with mathematical certainty. The ownership of money and property comes as a result of doing things in a certain way. Those who do things in this certain way, whether on purpose or accidentally, get rich, while those who do not do these things in this certain way, no matter how hard they work or how able they are, remain poor. It is a natural law that like causes always produce like effects. And therefore, any man or woman who learns to do things in this certain way will infallibly get rich. That the above statement is true is shown by the following facts. Getting rich is not a matter of environment, for if it were, all the people in certain neighborhoods would become wealthy. The people of one city would all be rich, while those of other towns would all be poor. Or the inhabitants of one state would roll in wealth, while those of the adjoining state would be in poverty. But everywhere we see rich and poor living side by side in the same environment, and often engaged in the same vocations. When two men are in the same locality and in the same business, and one gets rich while the other remains poor, it shows that getting rich is not primarily a matter of environment. Some environments may be more favorable than others, but when two men in the same business are in the same neighborhood and one gets rich while the other fails, it indicates that getting rich is the result of doing things in a certain way. And further, the ability to do things in this certain way is not due solely to the possession of talent. For many people have great talent remain poor, while others who have very little talent get rich. Studying the people who have got rich, we find that they are an average lot in all respects, having no greater talents and abilities than any other men. It is evident that they do not get rich because they possess talents and abilities that other men have not, but because they happen to do things in a certain way. Getting rich is not the result of saving or thrift. Many very penurious people are poor, while free spenders often get rich. Nor is getting rich due to doing things which others fail to do. For two men in the same business often do almost exactly the same things, and one gets rich while the other remains poor or becomes bankrupt. From all of these things, we must come to the conclusion that getting rich is a result of doing things in a certain way. If getting rich is a result of doing things in a certain way, and if like causes always produce like effects, then any man or woman who can do things in that way can become rich, and the whole matter is brought within the domain of exact science. The question arises here whether this certain way may not be so difficult that only a few may follow it. This cannot be true, as we have seen, so far as natural ability is concerned. Talented people get rich, and blockheads get rich. Intellectually brilliant people get rich, and very stupid people get rich. Physically strong people get rich, and weak and sickly people get rich. Some degree of ability to think and understand is, of course, essential, but insofar as natural ability is concerned, any man or woman who has sense enough to read and understand these words can certainly get rich. Also, we have seen that it is not a matter of environment. Location counts for something. One would not go to the heart of the Sahara and expect to do successful business. Getting rich involves the necessity of dealing with men and of being where there are people to deal with. And if these people are inclined to deal in the way you want to deal, so much the better. But that is about as far as environment goes. If anybody else in your town can get rich, so can you. And if anybody else in your state can get rich, so can you. Again, it is not a matter of choosing some particular business or profession. People get rich in every business and in every profession, while their next-door neighbors in the same vocation remain in poverty. It is true that you will do best in a business which you like and which is congenial to you. And if you have certain talents which are well developed, you will do best in a business which calls for the exercise of those talents. Also, you will do best in a business which is suited to your locality. An ice cream parlor would do better in a warm climate than in Greenland. And a salmon fishery would succeed better in the Northwest than in Florida, where there are no salmon. But aside from these general limitations, getting rich is not dependent upon your engaging in some particular business, but upon you learning to do things in a certain way. If you are now in business and anybody else in your locality is getting rich in the same business while you are not getting rich, it is because you are not doing things in the same way that the other person is doing them. No one is prevented from getting rich by lack of capital. True, as you get capital, the increase becomes more easy and rapid, but one who has capital is already rich and does not need to consider how to become so. No matter how poor you may be, if you begin to do things in a certain way, you will begin to get rich, and you will begin to have capital. The getting of capital is a part of the process of getting rich, and it is a part of the result which invariably follows the doings of things in a certain way. You may be the poorest man on the continent and be deeply in debt. You may have neither friends, influence, nor resources. But if you begin to do things in this way, you must infallibly begin to get rich. For like causes must produce like effects. If you have no capital, you can get capital. If you are in the wrong business, you can get in the right business. If you are in the wrong location, you can go to the right location. And you can do so by beginning in your present business and in your present location to do things in a certain way, which causes success. So what do you guys get from that chapter?
You can pretty much get, you're doing what feels good to you, you can get rich doing it. It doesn't matter what your background is or what you've been taught, where you are. If you follow like a certain way, you can get rich. That's kind of like it, isn't it?
I like that. And you mentioned that, like, if you're doing something that you're like he says, you don't even have to like it. Like, if you just do it in a certain way, then you can make money. And then from there, to fulfill all the other pieces, then you can change what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. But then, yeah, you have the capital, right? If yeah.
Like, there's no reason why you can't be rich right now, basically, is what he's saying, right?
And he's right.
Mm-hmm.
He's really interesting. He makes me want to hear more.
Yeah, it's a great book. Look it up and download it if you can, and if you can't, it's like a 99-cent thing on Amazon or whatever. They're super accessible, but I found them all for free. It's that one, and then it's Think and Grow Rich as well by Napoleon Hill. The thing is that basically the difference is Wallace Wattles tells you what the certain way of thinking is, while as Napoleon Hill like kind of makes it like a game that you try to figure it out. And that's annoying. But Napoleon Hill's book is longer and more in depth. And this one's like shorter, but neither one is better than the other. And literally they're just books that you are to repeatedly read over and over and over again.
When you're listening to, help me, I'm having a brain fart moment here. When you listen to things on your phone, like
Audible.
Listen to books. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Yep.
What would you recommend for that online?
We like both Gontas and I both have Audible, and we listen to, I think we both cycle on like listening to it a lot and then not listening to it at all.
I'm in the not phase right now, but I find it helpful. I find
but
it's nice when you're driving. So.
Yeah, totally. It's just like any book. Like you'll read a book and then, like maybe you'll like read pages and you'll be like, oh shit, I don't even know what I just read. And then you have to go back. It's like that with Audible. You'll be like, oh shit, I don't know when I stopped listening. And then you have to go back and listen again. But I find it really, really great. And just like Gunther said, like, especially with driving. And these are all on there. To be honest, I have these printed off. I have these in my Amazon. I have them like my Kindle. I have them on my Audible, and and then I have them printed off as well. And yeah, and again, I still go back and forth through the like reading them all the time and then not reading them all the time, and taking notes. Because I know I've got it like dated July the 8th. Oh, I think he said there's like instructions in the books to do things. And I think he said, write this down so you never forget. And then I wrote it down. And then I wrote down a bunch of mantras.
Can I ask you guys a question? Just something when you're changing your just little things in my day have to change in order for all this to work, right? It's a lot of work. But anyway, how fast in the morning before you turn on that stupid phone technology, and with running a business, like you have to have your phone on you all the time. I just find it really, I need to set some boundaries in the morning for me time, and it's the damn phone for me. I don't know about you guys, but
for me, it becomes difficult because I entered into a long distance relationship. So that changed things a lot. Like I was always on my phone. But before that, and then now, because I'm here with him, I try not to touch my phone until like before it was like 11 a.m. was when any of my coaching started, or I took any calls, or I looked at my phone. Like it just was no. It's a little bit different because I don't have Wi-Fi where I am. And so if I look at my phone, it's not really helpful at all. So sometimes I wait a whole day. But then I'm also very specific. Like I've got, like just papers everywhere of what I need to do. And like, so that I'm methodical when I come to town, that I've got a whole plan mapped out and that I get all of my shit done that I need to get done. So it's really good for you to, I don't know how deep I go into schedules in lesson 2. It'd be good to like rewatch all these videos again for me. But I know that when I made the video, I was very anal on my schedule. And so I would wake up at like 8, and then I didn't get started till 11. And so there was 3 hours of like reading a book, meditating, reading my mantras, like doing all my things before I started my day. And then
that's really helpful because I know it maybe not 3 hours. Our schedules are obviously different with jobs and stuff, but it's really important that I wake up and make 5:30 till 6:30 or 7 my time.
Great.
For work.
Great.
Period.
That's kind of what I did too. Well, especially when I was working, that when I woke up, I didn't look at my phone. Like pretty much until I went to work. Well, I was one of those people that doesn't give myself a lot of time. By the time I had at home, it was just spent like that. And now even I wake up I'm in the basement, so I leave my phone down here. That way I find. And another thing I did when I found I've been getting bad with going on social media, I just delete the apps. If you find you're like going on it too much for no reason, I'll go through a phase where I just get rid of them, and I'll leave like Messenger on my phone so then I know, but I'll get rid of like Instagram for a bit. And then when I know that I've come to a place where I'm not going to keep clicking on it, then I'll go back. Probably going to do that soon. Now that I'm at home, I start to go on it more.
Yeah, I can't even remember. I think it was like a full year, maybe even 2, that I had Messenger and I had Facebook like pages for my business page, but I didn't have the Facebook app on there. So if I ever did want to go on Facebook, I had to go through the browser, which was super annoying. But I could still like if I had to go on, then I could go check it out that way. But I still had access to business and Messenger, which I probably text on there more than anything. So yeah, that's a really good advice of like just deleting the app. It doesn't mean you can't go on through your browser, and it's just not as user friendly, so it's super annoying to do it that way. But you still
Or
have
log out.
access.
Yeah. Or log out, and then that way when you click it, you're like, oh, I'm always like, I don't know what my password is. I have to go through effort.
Yeah. Yeah, so those are, and then again, don't pack your morning so full of routines that it's another fucking job, because the whole point of doing this all is self-care. Like meditation is there for you to empty your mind and find some peace. Reading is there because reading is really great for your intellect, and it's also why not fill your mind full of things that are very helpful as opposed to shit. That being said, I think it was Tim Ferriss, I can't remember, who does the 4-hour work week. He said that his own, like, he didn't watch TV anymore. He didn't do a bunch of stuff, but what he did do was like read one chapter or 1 hour of like a fiction novel every night. And that was like his just mindless, like, blah. And so I do that with Netflix. For me, my mindless time is Netflix. And I don't get much of it. So it's really great where I am now. There's not even a TV. So I've got no Wi-Fi, no TV, like none of the things. Yeah. And it's actually not that hard. It's super easy. And I have my phone, and I can, like, today I was very specific in like downloading the new the new episodes of Orange is the New Black. And then Shane and I can kind of like do that once in a while. But we end up getting so busy that we don't, yeah. It's just easy when it's out of sight, out of mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just becomes like, what does fill you up more? Because Netflix is great to just like lay there and be mindless. But then when you are beating yourself up because you just spent 4 hours on Netflix again, you know, then at some point you got to be like, okay, I'm making a choice to not do this anymore because beating myself up doesn't feel good. Whereas I will also be like, I am doing nothing but eating shit and watching Netflix all day today, like on a Sunday or something. And I will not feel guilty because I don't do it for 4 hours every single day and not ever get anything done, right? So I think self-care is really important. Don't make this another job. And then don't also like go the other way of engaging in behaviors that you're just going to feel bad about later.
I hate TV. I could never find anything good on it. It's always on just because.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying to put Music Station on, but yeah, every time I try to cancel my cable, they give me a better package deal.
Of course. Of course. That was forever. I can't even remember what year it was, 2008 or 2009. I was given half the bills, and he wanted ones that wouldn't affect his credit just in case I was a bad person because we were new. And so I got like the satellite and the phones. And so immediately I heard about this new thing, Netflix. So I switched from the $134 satellite bill to the $8.99 Netflix bill. And that changed everything because I mean, still there's so much on Netflix and you can't find anything to watch anyways.
Look at the sunset behind you. It's beautiful.
Oh, you know what? It's actually a light.
Is that the sunset?
No.
That's hilarious. I'm like, where is she?
So I have found this co-work space in Nevada City that has great internet and not a bunch of people around. So I finally have like found my place where I'm not surrounded by people being really loud and wanting to throw rocks at them. So that's where I am now.
Looks like you're in Africa.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's like a cement conference table, and it has, and then they gave me access to that building over there after hours because it's after hours right now. Yeah, they're super super cool here. And then there's like trellised vines above me, and yeah, it's really neat.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah. So do you guys want to do some mantra work?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so just going off of the workshop that we did last week, and I did this myself today too. Yeah, it's open to it. So this is Think and Grow Rich on my Amazon app. So every human being who reaches the age of understanding of the purpose of money wishes for it. Wishing will not bring riches, but desiring riches with a state of mind that becomes an obsession, then planning definite ways and means to acquire riches and backing those plans with persistence, which does not recognize failure, will bring riches. Okay, so the first thing you do, fix your mind on the exact amount of money you desire. It's not sufficient merely to say, I want plenty of money. You need to be definite as to the amount. And then it says there is a psychological reason for definiteness, which will be described in a subsequent chapter. Second, determine exactly what you intend to give in return for the money you desire. So there is no such reality as something for nothing. So today when I was working on this, oh shit, I put it in the other book. Oh no, I did it here. Okay, because this was my like little play one. So usually what I do is I have a monthly one. So I'm so happy and grateful. Here's these ones. I'm so happy and grateful now that I bring in $10,000 every month easily and consistently through yoga and coaching services. Okay. So I'm kind of hitting what he's saying there in the fact that I'm telling you how much money I want, and I have like a time on it, which is every month. And then I'm saying I'm bringing it in, like in exchange for the money, I'm going to provide either yoga, which is retreats and teacher trainings, or coaching. So this kind of stuff. That's what I'm doing in exchange. So more what he says here is to establish a definite date when you intend to possess the money you desire. So in the normal one, I want that every month. Fourth, create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once, whether you're ready or not, to put this plan into action. Fifth, write out a clear, concise statement of the amount of money you intend to acquire. Name the time limit for its acquisition. State what you intend to give in return for the money, and describe clearly the plan through which you intend to accumulate it. And then the last one is read your written statement aloud twice daily, once just before retiring at night and once after arising in the morning. And as you read, see and feel and believe yourself already in possession of the money. So I did do this one little mocky guy here. I said, I am so happy. I did it in process. So I wrote out $200,000. I picked December the 31st, 2019. In return, I said coach/yoga. And then I said, I will continue to promote myself on a page in groups and social media. I will apply to festivals and run past life regressions, offer retreats and teacher trainings, promote and monetize my group. So then that was doing the first part. And then the fifth is to write it out. So I am so happy and grateful now that I acquired $200,000 by December the 31st, 2019, in return for my yoga and coaching offerings. I will continue to promote myself on social media in my pages, groups, Instagram, etc. I will increase traffic to my group and monetize my group while offering retreats, teacher trainings, and apply and attend at festivals with my past life regressions. So can you see, like, okay, that's super specific. It's like as what he says to do. And then there's the, I'm so happy and grateful now that I bring in $10,000 every month easily and consistently through yoga and coaching services. They're both acceptable mantras. This one that Napoleon Hill has is like, it's looking for like a one-time deal of 200 grand as opposed to $10,000 every month. This one has like the way that I'm gonna do it. Here's how I'm gonna do it. I mean, I could put more in there. I could book calls. I could I'm going to put out Facebook ads for this group after we're done with the beta testing. Like, because this group is kind of where I want it to be, instead of like too many personal coaching clients. I have the plan all mapped out. It's really like putting it on words and making it tangible, and then repeating that thing every single day, twice a day. So if you don't know what you want to do, then that's fine. That's something that's going to come. Then, I mean, that's one of the mantras that you can have. I'm so super grateful. I'm so happy and grateful that every day I know more about why I'm on this earth, or something like that. You need to have it in present tense. Like you've already done it. You need to like feel those feelings when you say the thing. And then you also still need to have mantras about what you're doing right now. So when you read further in Napoleon Hill's book, he talks about how having this set, like, so what? You don't know what you want to do, but you do know that you want to make $8,000 a month. So that's got to be one of your mantras. And then saying that repeatedly will bring ideas to you that will take you to bringing in that $8,000 a month. And then that's another thing that requires coaching, is like acting on the things that are coming to you. Because let's just say, there's a shitload of things that are going to come to you. And if you just say no to them, or look at them like, well, why would I do that? Or maybe I need to look a little more. Like, what you're really doing is denying all your soul talking to you. And it might not be the thing that you're going to do. So let's just say personal training or blog posts for Gunthas. That might not be like the end all of where you're going to be. But if you have that idea and then you follow it to completion, then first of all, you've cut off an energy leak. And second of all, you've listened to your soul. So there's going to be something come out of that. Like, you could go do your personal training certificate, and then you meet someone who's like, oh my God, I need you to run my company in Florida. And I'm looking for someone that writes to do it. But I don't want you to write. You're like, okay, sure. Like, you never know what's going to come in that time. So it's also, don't say yes to every single thing. Like, your body really knows. So when you feel into it, it's the immediate reaction that's important. And it's all the other stuff that's just the excuses that's going to stop you from getting to where you want to go. Maybe not stop you, but slow you the F down. So he says, it's important that you follow the instructions described in these 6 steps. It's especially important that you observe and follow the instructions in the 6th paragraph. You may complain that it is impossible for you to see yourself in possession of money before you actually have it. Here is where a burning desire will come to your aid. If you truly desire money so keenly that your desire is an obsession, you'll have no difficulty in convincing yourself that you will acquire it. The object is to want money and to become so determined to have it that you convince yourself you will have it. I mean, the whole book is great. So there's more. You can just keep reading and reading. And don't just have one. So here's some things I've written down. I'm so ecstatic that I signed another client today. I just love watching my courses, trainings, retreats, and empty coaching spots fill up with waitlists. I'm so happy and grateful now that I've released all blocks standing between myself and the life I have always wanted to live. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm living my dream life. I wrote that one down, but then when I thought about it, and I did this after, was like, well, what's my dream life? So then I broke it down even more. My dream life is money in the bank, consistent cash flow, savings for retirement, living on a beach. So again, I noticed how vague that was in my examples. So you don't want to be super vague. And the only thing that I can say has really helped with this to keep it consistent and easy and under 14 minutes, I think it's under 14 minutes, is the Tony Robbins priming meditation. And so it's like 10 minutes, I think it's 14 minutes and 31 seconds or something. And it does all the things that we're talking about, in which it cultivates gratefulness in your heart. It has, like, it really gets you to bring up these good feelings that you need to be feeling when you're manifesting. And then it has you think of 3 things you're super grateful for. He has you be of service. So like share that gratefulness with the world. And then he has you think of 3 things that you want to see happen in your life and that you need to see it like it's already been done. And so what I did then was wrote out those 3 things. And then I stick consistently to those 3 things. What are the 3 things that I want right now? So let's say $10,000. Let's say if you want a partner and
A car.
yeah, there you go, and a car. So those would be the 3 things I would stick to consistently until you have the car, and then replace the car with something else. Because that's where the results are going to come from. You need to shift the way that you're feeling, because if you're coming from a place of lack, like I don't have the $10,000, it's like, please God, just give me the $10,000. Then it just actually brings more to you that's going to prevent you from actually getting the $10,000. So all of these things like come together in one.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have any questions about your mantras?
So my question is like you did the 2, I'm so happy and grateful, to bring in $10,000 a month, and it was a little like less detailed, and you had the detailed one. So would you recommend then you had the one about $200,000 by December 31st. Would you recommend doing like 2 like that? Like I have a monthly one we worked on. Now I wonder, do I do another one that like, I read that how Napoleon Hill has that in the book where you pick your date.
Yeah.
Maybe you could write in there like, that I would get that money in increments by December 31st or whatever. Like, is that what you meant by the 2?
Yeah, so you can do it that way, but also like having the date of December the 31st, 2019 is equivalent to saying each and every month.
Okay.
I want this each and every month. And then the big difference is that Napoleon is asking for more details. Like if you write a freaking page as your mantra, like that means you've envisioned all of the things. You've probably incorporated all of your senses. It's a beautiful sunny day. I can feel the warm breeze on my skin and the sun kissing my face. I hear the ocean in the background. I smell bread cooking from the bakery below my apartment in Paris. I don't know, there's no ocean in Paris, but I'm just kind of going with it. And I'm so happy and grateful that I live in this perfect life that is. And then all the things I just said with like, I can taste the coffee on my tongue. Like the more that you have, the more precise, the more of a vision. It's like that whole ordering soup from the waiter. I want chicken noodle soup. And then not changing your order.
Mm-hmm.
Because we always change our order. We're like, oh yeah, I want $10,000 a month, and I want a sexy man, and I want this, and we're like so vague. And then we're kind of like, but wait, actually, I don't want that man. I want a man that, does this actually. And then we're so finicky and so vague that we need to be more and more clear. And the more clear and precise you are, the quicker it'll manifest. And the more emotion and feeling that you involve, like all of your senses, you just can't deny that after some time. When you lay there and think about your dream life and you're living on a beach and you can hear the ocean and you can feel the sun on your face and the warm breeze on your skin, like I can feel that right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have no idea how it's going to happen. So this is something that, you know, the dude that I'm seeing right now, Shane, he has a thing for money. And so he's like, well, you know, I need money to do this thing. And I'm like, he wants to run a farm. Like, sure. But like in the other sense of it too, like your long lost grandfather could die tomorrow and leave you his farm in Tennessee, or, you know, like some person in Costa Rica all of a sudden has a death in the family and they have to go and they want you to run their farm in Costa Rica. Like, you have absolutely no idea how it's going to play out. It doesn't mean that you have to have capital. It's like, as long as you're like deep down, this is fucking happening. There's nothing else, you know, this is happening. And then you say it every day. It's happening. It's happening. It's like, it's happened already. Fuck this. Like, it's just making its way to me. There's no way that's not going to happen.
It's just like that. If you look at, like, sometimes I'll be sitting there and I'll be like, oh my God, like even 4 years ago, I wanted my life like this, but I didn't know how I was going to get this to where I am. And I know I'm not where I want to be yet, but 4 years ago compared to now, like I dreamt of this and I made it happen somehow.
Sweet.
So
yes.
It's like that, right?
Yes, just totally.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, there's so many stories out there. Like, I think it's in Science of Getting Rich is 3 Feet from Gold, where, you know, a guy, he got a mine, he borrowed a bunch of money. It was a successful mine. The guy said, you're going to make a ton of money. So he borrowed a bunch of money from all his friends and family and neighbors. And they started mining and they lost the vein of gold. And then they were like, okay, well, let's just keep going. So they kept going and then they gave up. And this other guy hired like a geologist, and they had stopped drilling 3 feet from gold. And this other guy that bought the mine made tons and tons of money. And then the guy, though, learned from that. And what he learned was, like, never give up. And then he became the most successful life insurance salesman in the world.
Okay.
But, like, at the same time, we never know how close we are to success because we do give up, and they just say, don't give up. Like, you won't give up if you're like, no, that's like, I'm not going to be broke ass all my life. I'm done with this. Mm-hmm. Then you're not going to be broke ass.
I love it.
Yeah. Do you guys have any questions around your mantras? Any more questions?
I just didn't realize it's like repetition getting in my head how specific I had to be. So I'm going to work on that this week for sure.
Sweet. If you guys want more, then just post in the group, like, here's my mantra, what do you think? And I'll go over it and tell you exactly what I think and where we can make changes, or that it's perfect. And then I have like a whole 2 pages of mantras. So I don't just have 1 or 5 or whatever, but then I'm being a little confusing in the fact that I told you also with Tony Robbins priming, I only have 3. So I think of the most important 3 things that I really want in life now, and those, I just don't change them. I keep them the same every time I prime with him. And pretty much all my mantras, even if they're like, you know, everything is unfolding as it has to, I'm in process, blah, blah, blah. Like, they're all around my top 3 things anyways. Everything is kind of, it all comes back to those 3 things.
Perfect.
Okay. I kind of like that lately on the priming exercise and having you focus on like the top 3 things that you want. I find when I get to these mantras, yeah, I look at the one about like how much money and stuff I want to make, but then I don't really think about it. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure it helps me a lot more than I want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then Abraham Hicks does a really good like little YouTube video on why it's best to say things before you go to bed and when you wake up in the morning, because she says that the time that you're sleeping, which is usually about 8 hours, is the time. So you have your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, which in lesson 3, I think we dive into, and you guys have already watched the video. But the subconscious mind is running all the time, 24/7. It never stops. So when you go to sleep, you're doing all the things that you need to do for your physical body and your mind, but your subconscious is still running. And so your subconscious is going to run on like autopilot, and it's going to run on the things that you have inputted into it or its normal paradigm. So I would imagine the normal paradigm is shit talking yourself, not good enough, beating yourself up. So what does happen at night is then that programming comes back into play. So there's 8 hours every single day that you are unmonitored. So what are you doing with your mind? So when you go to sleep, the last thing you sleep of is one thing that you'll sleep of. The last thing that you think of is something that will replay until the morning. And then in the morning, the very first thought that you have really counts. So typically, because most people are unconscious, the first thought they have is like, I have not had enough sleep. So the very first thought of the day is one of lack. I don't have enough. So what's really great is to wake up and read your mantras. Oh, I'm so happy and grateful. My last mantra that I made was, I am so happy and grateful. And I just stopped it there. I feel like there's not much else to say. I'm just fucking happy and grateful. So if your first thoughts are, I'm happy and grateful, or your first thoughts are like, I didn't have enough, then this is how we continue on our day. And so then on top of it, what I do at night is I put on meditations. And right now I put on hypnosis, in like removing different blocks. And like, what's the one right now? A program I bought a million years ago that I thought would be really good to bring into coaching. Then I was like, I don't know if this is me at all. It's a chick named Marissa Peers. It's instant transformational hypnotherapy. And what you do is your mind does what it thinks you want it to. You only respond to 2 things. Make the familiar unfamiliar and the unfamiliar familiar. Do what you hate and do what you hate first. Take daily actions, delay gratification. You are enough, and don't let in criticism, but do let in praise. So for a week, every single night, I listen to one of the meditations. I'm at like, do what you hate and do what you hate first right now. And then sometimes I go into like, I think I shared this, like sometimes if I'm big on selling or something like that, like I sold for a woman for a while. So every night I listen to an 8-hour meditation on how I was the best salesman in the world and had the most confidence ever. Because I just didn't want my mind like reinstilling all these fears, because selling is like it's a very vulnerable thing, you know? So I didn't want
How many hours did you do that for?
It would be, I would put on an 8-hour meditation on my computer on YouTube. Yeah. And then just listen to they would have like biannual beats and like all that, all that shit. And then sometimes I'll like, there's a really good meditation by Louise Hay.
I'm trying that one.
Yeah. And it's like, it tells you do this every single night for 30 days to change your life. And it's all about like your inner child. It's a really good one.
Yeah, I've been trying that. Did you just put it on your computer? Because then I put it on my phone. But I wondered how to repeat it.
Right.
How.
You can set up in your settings. So I have it set up so that when I have a meditation, it doesn't go on auto play. So it won't play the next one. So then it shuts off. And then, but I do have it so that my phone doesn't shut off while the YouTube is playing.
I'll have to check that, because yeah, I've been using that. It's interesting though, because I just put it on and went to sleep, and then I only listened to it like once a day meditation. But then the one day I did listen to it and like do the meditation, I was like, I remember this, but then like I didn't remember it. Like it was a weird feeling because I already knew what she was going to say, but don't have any recollection of listening to it.
Yeah. Yeah, because your subconscious is listening. It's
Kind of cool because it, like,
yeah.
reassures that fact.
Yeah. For a while, you can get the Audible version, like you can get them reading Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. So I can't remember how long I did that for, but it's a 10-hour, they read it for 10 hours. So that would be like, I would just play it. And then when I woke up, I'd stop it. And then I'd pick it up from there. And that was like every time I went to sleep. I don't know. That one's, it's just reading the book, but that's what I did for like quite a few months, I think.
Yeah, that may be a good one too.
Yeah, so I also on Audible had that one, I don't know, Vanessa Simpkins had told me to download it. Because she listens to this guy. Let me just see in my library. She listens to this dude, Neville Goddard. So Neville Goddard, I think, is dead. But yeah, there's a bunch of books that he wrote, and they're kind of like Think and Grow Rich type stuff. And so there's this one, The Power of Unlimited Imagination. It's 2.5 hours long. And I used to put that one on, and I don't think I've ever listened to the book awake though.
What is it? Power of Unlimited what?
Imagination. And the funny thing is that I tried to listen to it when I was awake one time, and the book makes me fall asleep because I've only listened to it to go to sleep. So it's kind of funny, but whatever. Yeah, but Neville Goddard has a bunch, and he's another guru for like the power of attraction and stuff. So
cool. Thank you.
Yeah. And then Gupta, you had mentioned something in our correspondence about routines and schedules. So it might be perfect that lesson 2 was brought up again to have a look at it. And of course, not take it too seriously so that you're like, but just to go over it again.
I think I needed to get out of my routine. Well, it was nice to let it flow, but then to realize how much I needed it.
Yeah, me too. Like a flowy routine.
Yeah, like not so hard on myself if it doesn't go that way. Yeah.
Like today I woke up and I knew we had this group and I'm done chasing Wi-Fi. So what I decided was I was actually going to go to Boxpack, and then I would come here at 4, and usually I come here at 8 in the morning. So I decided I'm still going to work, but I'm going to actually do some self-care. So this was my Sunday night conversation. I'm going to do some self-care. I want to clip my toenails, pluck my eyebrows, have a shower and shave and like do all these things. And then I'm going to sit down and create a grocery list. And then I'm going to create my list for when I go into town. And then I did that. And then I created a list for tomorrow as well. And I got it all done. I didn't go crazy about all. And then I have a list of to-dos that I can pull from when and if I'm here and I don't have things to do. And so that's kind of helpful too, of just like creating the schedule as I go, but also having things that I do every Monday, every Tuesday, and every Wednesday.
There's some consistency, but whenever it gets done.
Yes. Sound good?
Okay. That sounds really good. Thanks.
Do you guys have any more questions?
I think I'm good. Yeah. So
Yeah.
This is a good lesson.
Very good.
Good.
Yeah, I have a lot in my mind. Like there's a lot right now. So
yeah, it can get like overwhelming. So just like slowly process all the things, and then again, all these things we're gonna learn in lessons too, and we're gonna be here every other week. Like just take it slow, but keep taking steps. That's it. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So then maybe we'll call her now. And then, so homework, introduce your guys' selves on the Facebook, which will hopefully prompt other people to do the same. Lesson 2 really wasn't supposed to be uploaded till Wednesday, but I thought just in case someone wants to start, it's there to watch. And then, yeah, if you are writing out your mantras and you want some help with them, upload those into a post and I'll go over them. And that should be good.
Okay, so part of the homework is watch the lesson 2 video as well.
It's to, sorry?
So part of the homework is also watching the lesson 2 video?
No, you don't have to
Oh.
till Wednesday. Wednesday is lesson 2. I just uploaded it earlier, but I thought it would be good for you. So if you have time, Gumpus, then watch it. But if you don't worry about it till Wednesday. Okay? Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, guys, this is great. I look forward to chatting to you in a couple of weeks, but other than that, I'll see you guys on Facebook.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
Night night.
Okay. Night, guys.
Good night.